In a cemetery in Ottawa, Illinois, there are graves that no one dares to approach without a Geiger counter. Why? Because these graves are still emitting nuclear radiation, a full century later. Who is buried here? Not nuclear scientists, not victims of a reactor meltdown, but young women in their 20s who simply went to a normal job every morning. Let me take you back to 1917. World War I is raging. And meanwhile, the world discovers a magical new element, radium. An element that literally glows in the dark. Everyone became obsessed with the radium craze. Radium chocolate for energy. Radium water for eternal youth. Radioactive face creams for glowing skin. Doctors even prescribed it as a cure for cancer, impotence, and depression. Radium was the green gold of that era, and corporations were paying fortunes to get their hands on it. The U.S. Radium Corporation in New Jersey needed hundreds of female workers. The task was simple. Paint the dials of military watches with a luminous, radium-laced paint so soldiers could read the time in the dark trenches. The pay? Outstanding. Double the wages of workers in other factories. Hundreds of poor working-class girls raced to get this job. Among them was a girl named Grace Fryer. Grace, a 19-year-old dreaming of a better life, a new dress, and helping her family. When she got the job, she felt like she had won the lottery. On the first day, the supervisor taught the girls the technique. Step 1. Put the tip of the brush in your mouth and point it with your lips. Step 2. Dip the brush into the glowing radioactive paint. Step 3. Paint the dials with precision. Then, repeat. The brush in the mouth. Dozens of times a day. Hundreds of times a week. Grace and her colleagues would ask, "Is this safe? We are putting this material in our mouths." The supervisor coldly replied, "Of course! The material is completely harmless. Even the company's doctors confirm it's good for your health." Even the female managers themselves would paint their lips with radium. After weeks of working, Grace discovered something amazing. When she went home at night and turned off the lights, she was glowing in the dark. Her hair, her fingers, her dress, even her breath, illuminated with a ghostly green glow. The girls loved it. They intentionally painted their nails with radium before going out to parties. Some painted their teeth to have a glowing smile in the dark. One girl painted her entire wedding dress so she would glow in the church. They felt like fairies or supernatural beings. They didn't know that this magical glow was death itself, seeping into their bones. After 2 years of working, in 1922, Grace woke up one morning to find something strange. One of her front teeth had fallen onto her pillow. No pain, no warning. It just fell out. She went to the dentist. He said, "Probably tooth decay." He extracted more of her teeth. But it didn't stop there. The holes in her gums wouldn't heal. Instead, her actual jawbone began to disintegrate. Back at the factory, other girls began suffering the exact same symptoms. Molly Maggia lost all her lower teeth in a single week. Quinta MacDonald broke her leg simply by walking. Irene Rudolph's spine crumbled so badly she became 6 centimeters shorter. As for Amelia Maggia, Molly's sister, when she went to the dentist to have a single tooth pulled, her entire jawbone detached in the dentist's hand. In one piece. the entire left jawbone. The dentist ran out of the room, vomiting. Grace, who was once an energetic girl who loved to dance, was now unable to walk without a cane, her mouth full of bleeding ulcers, her back terrifyingly hunched, her weight dropping to 40 kilograms. She went to dozens of doctors. All of them were baffled. Until it was her turn with a specialist, who brought a radiation detector. When he brought the device close to her jaw, the machine screamed loudly. The doctor said in shock, "Your entire body is radioactive. Your bones contain lethal amounts of radium. You are a walking nuclear bomb." When Grace and the other girls tried to sue the corporation, the company denied everything. Even worse, they hired corrupt doctors to examine the girls and declare, "These women are suffering from syphilis." In the 1920s, this accusation meant one thing: completely destroying a girl's reputation, being disowned by her family, and losing any chance at justice. It was a demonic strategy. Kill the victim twice, physically and morally. Grace was dying. She could have given up, stayed home, and died in silence. But she refused. In 1927, she found a brave lawyer willing to take the case. The problem? Grace and 4 other girls could barely move. Some couldn't even raise their hands to take the oath in court. The press dubbed them the Ghost Girls because they looked like withered phantoms, barely breathing. On the day of the trial, Grace was carried into the courtroom in a wheelchair. She couldn't speak clearly because her jaw was destroyed. But when asked to testify, she removed the metal brace holding her jaw together and showed the judge and the audience an open hole in her face. You could see the bones of her skull from the inside. Some in the audience screamed. Others fainted. The journalists captured the moment. The next day, Grace's picture was on the front page of every newspaper in America. The headline: "The company that ate its daughter's bones." Public opinion completely turned against the corporation. After weeks of trial, the company agreed to a settlement: financial compensation for each girl, paying their medical bills for the rest of their lives, and officially admitting responsibility. But the money didn't matter anymore. The girls were dying. Grace Fryer died in 1933, 6 years after the legal victory. Her age, 34. Molly Maggia, Amelia Maggia, Quinta MacDonald. Every single one of them died in a painful and terrifying way. But these girls did not die in vain. Because of their case, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, laws were founded in America. Corporations were forced, for the first time, to protect their workers from hazardous materials. The danger of radiation was officially recognized, saving millions of workers' lives in later nuclear projects, including the Manhattan Project. Their story became a global symbol of workers' struggle against corporate greed. Today, if you visit Grace Fryer's grave in New Jersey, you need special clearance. Because her body, even 90 years after being buried, is still radioactive. Her bones are still glowing beneath the dirt, as if she refuses to let the world forget what happened to her. Grace Fryer and her friends paid with their lives for a glowing smile in the dark. But they sparked a revolution that changed the world.